Right, so it's now got windy. As you can see, everything's blowing, waves are up, so it's not quite as beautifully sunny as it was last week. I've come out to Portnatch on the north of the island, and it's a beautiful road. Absolutely loving riding the BSA Goldstar on these Ibiza kind of country winding roads. Just suits the bike perfectly. Portnatch, somebody recommended it to me on the channel, in the comment section, said go up there. I used to love it. So whoever that was, sorry I can't remember your name, but thank you very much for the recommendation. It's a beautifully smooth, soft, sandy beach, really nice, like not a huge beach, a really pleasant cove, nice restaurants and shops and stuff around it, just very traditional Spanish looking. It's not overdeveloped, it's just really, really nice. Stopped in the spa, got some more of this, which we're addicted to at the moment. It's Ibiza coffee. It's decaffeinated, obviously, for Suze, but we're a bit mad on this coffee at the moment, so I've collected some more. I'm going to take this off the island. On the north of the island, I'm actually finding that more and more. We've got these kind of upmarket, yoga-style retreat hotels. Wellness is a big thing, and that kind of makes the north of the island a little bit nicer. There's less big apartments, there's less kind of bars and less big clubs. It's just really chilled vibe up here. I really like it, I really like it. So today I'm going to talk about the BSA Goldstar, my plans for the bike. I've had the bike now long enough in order to know that I want to keep, I'm going to sound like Two-Wheeled Willie now. Two-Wheeled Willie always says this bike's a keeper, and it's like a little bit of a guessing game whether he's going to keep the bike or not. I love it, love following Willie's channel. So with this bike, I'm going to say I think it's now a long-term bike. I don't feel the need to get more power. I got my 45 horsepower, more than enough. Got the single-cylinder riding experience. For me, it's a natural progressor from the Royal Enfield Meteor 350. That might sound weird, but going from Royal Enfield to BSA, totally different look. But that bike, for me, I love my Royal Enfield 350. It just was a little bit too sluggish on faster roads. So now I've gone from 20 horsepower to 45, big thumper. Yeah, it's not exactly a long stroke engine, but it thumps enough for me. So yeah, we're gonna keep it. Obviously, as you guys know, if you followed the channel, I did crash the bike and I've patched it up as good as I can. It's pretty much rideable, a few scuffs that I don't notice anymore. I doubt anyone else does, but she's a beautiful bike. Now, as I've kept the bike a little bit longer, I now feel I might wanna invest a little bit of money in making the bike more my own. I tried to resist this time around from getting the bike and immediately, like day one, ordering all the accessories. I mean, some people, I'm talking about Triumph Speed 400 owners here, I've seen you on the Facebook group, they order all these accessories before the bike's even been delivered. And I kind of think, well, what if you don't like the bike or you want to sell it on, it just doesn't work out for you, then you've got all this stuff and you've lost even more money. So I thought, I'll wait a little bit, see if I gel with the bike, and then I'll go for the sort of spend on accessories. With the BSA, it's more than the sum of its parts. It's a bike that I feel you kind of bond with. It's, on the paper, it's not amazing. You know, it's not that fast. It got 18-inch front wheel, so it doesn't handle brilliantly. The tires are questionable, but it's a bike that you just walk past and stand inside of your house and you just can't help but stop and look at it. And that feeling just seems to be growing with time. So I'm going to go through in this video some of my things that I'm going to do to update the bike, or make it more mine, not really update it, it's brand new. But first, just want to give thanks to a few people. Thanks to Nigel for always supporting the channel, always jotting down in the comments. We also met Nigel, as we talked about in the last video. Really, really nice guy, so thanks, and I hope you get on and find a bike for Spain, because Nigel also has a place in Spain that he visits very, very often. Bob from Bali, Bob sent me another nice email, so thanks a lot to Bob. He's looking at a Shotgun 650 or a CF Moto 700 MT. In my last video, I talked about the CF Moto 650 MT, but I didn't realise the 700 was such a bump up in power. They've gone from 54 horsepower by increasing the capacity of the engine from 649 to 694. I think that's the right way around, too many 9s and 4s, but they've increased the capacity for the 700 MT, and it's gone from 54 horsepower to 66, quite a bump up, and torque is now 55 Newton meters. So that would be a good all-round bike. Obviously everybody loves Royal Enfield. I'm no exception, they do tug on the heartstrings. But I think if you were thinking about it, given the price of both bikes is pretty similar, the 700 MT from CF Moto has to be a better overall bike. So that's my thoughts on it. The shotgun doesn't even look that particularly classic Royal Enfield. It's that Hunter kind of nouveau retro, which I prefer Royal Enfields to be proper classic looking, like the classic 350 or the Bullet or the Super Meteor or the original Meteor. So I would probably go for a CF Moto out of those two. I do like the CF Motos. I do like those kind of bikes that offer good value for money. So that's my answer to Bob anyway. So let's talk about what I'm going to do to the BSA. So first and foremost, I've been out on these islands. I absolutely love going down little tracks like this, finding unexplored places. So I'm going to upgrade the tyres. We're going to go for some, not full-on knobblies, but not far off, almost like knobblies for the road, just to give the bike a little bit more, or me a little bit more confidence. If I go down a dusty track, and it's really steep, I can get back up again. Obviously, I'm going to sacrifice road performance, but I ride the bike like a grandma anyway, so it's not really going to affect me too much. I'm at 40 miles an hour, I'm not leaning anymore. Having that road grip, I just don't need it anymore. I'm a plodder. So I'm going to go for that. We're going to put some guards on the headlight to go in with this kind of scramblerisation idea of mine. So I've had this idea for a while. I also might do some replacement grips or grip tape, something like that, just to accessorise a little bit. And the other thing which I'm thinking about is having replacement progressive springs in the forks. I know Tech do a kit, so you're looking at 140 quid, got progressive springs, a spacer, and then an adjustable top mount, so you can set the softness or hardness of the spring preload. That might be nice, because when I'm going over bumps and stuff on these tracks, it's jarring a little bit, and that's because it's a cheap as chips linear spring in the front fork, so I might change that out. I had a look at a video from Old and Goldie, great channel as well. He showed exactly how to take the springs out, so I feel like I could probably do that on my own, like fingers crossed. Need to support the bike, and it doesn't have a centre stand, so that might be the hardest bit, but actually changing the springs looks quite straightforward. The rear springs, I've got them on the softest setting, and people complain about those, saying that they're underdamped or whatever, not quite suitable for perhaps their use case. If you're a bigger guy, you want to do a bit of faster road riding, underdamped, this rear end pogos a little bit. For me, I don't mind that. I mean, it's quite good when you're going up and down these tracks and slow speeds. Good to have soft rear suspension. As Lumpy pointed out, Lumpy Carbs, great Facebook group by the way, Lumpy. He pointed out, oh, you've got your springs on the softest setting. And that's true, yeah, I have got it absolutely as soft as it can go. We're also getting some panniers as well, so I'm going to talk about those later on, not BSA ones. And the final thing I might do, I haven't quite thought about this, but I might do bar end mirrors just to give better visibility, because I don't really get on too well with the mirrors as they are. I feel it's quite hard to see out of them. I've adjusted them which way and every way. I'm going to change the mirrors potentially to bar end, and then the other thing I might do is a scrambler style handlebar. Not totally convinced on that, because I quite like the positioning of the handlebar, so I wouldn't want it to change, maybe angle a little bit further back, but maybe have the brace across the front. Oh, and another thing I'd quite like is the more speed racing. You've seen their scramblers have been all over YouTube recently. They do little bits and bobs for the BSA Goldstar. I would also like perhaps the kit that angles your instrument cluster, the rev counter and the speedometer, angles it towards the rider. That's 160 quid. So you've really got to like that to have it, but I quite feel that might be a nice feature, make my bike a little bit different to other BSAs. Whilst we're on the topic of other BSAs, talking about the colour scheme of BSA, I went for the Highland Green because I do really love the green, and as somebody pointed out recently, it's actually got a bit of a teal to it. It's got a blue, there's a blue hue within the green, which comes out. It's not a pure kind of forest or sage green. Sound like a Lawrence Llewellyn Bowen here, but it's got a bit of blue in it. I went for it because of that, and it doesn't have a stripe as well, whereas the black and the red and the silver have a stripe in the tank and on the rear mudguard, which I don't like. So I went for it, the green, because it wasn't striped, and green's my favourite colour, and it's the cheapest one as well. But the bike I'd probably go for if I was getting a BSA now, I'd probably go for a Legacy. Because when I was looking at these bikes, I thought, well, the Legacy is just basically chrome on the tank, chrome on the front mudguards, and it's blinged up a little bit, but it's actually a lot more bits to the Legacy than meets the eye. Like the brake levers are chrome, the gear lever is chrome, the front headlights, the mount, the clocks are all gloss black instead of just matte, which is a big improvement. It looks way more refined. The mirrors and the handlebars are chrome. The side casing, obviously, that's the one everybody notices, that's chrome. But there's a lot of bits on there which the Legacy is a lot different in terms of its colour. Obviously it rides the same spec, but all the trim pieces to convert to Legacy would take quite a lot of pieces ordered. So I think if you are going to buy one second hand, they don't seem to have that much of a premium compared to the colours to the Legacy edition. So that might be an idea. And the other thing I'm going to do, final point on the modifications of the BSA, is I might replace the stickers with the BSA the BSA stickers available from more speed racing. So that might be one to do. But yeah, that's my updates for the bike as it is. But at the moment, really enjoying it, and I'm going to keep using it. And we're going to get to 1,000 miles, and then we'll probably do a full owner's review, because I'll feel like then I can say with some confidence, like, this is my experience of the BSA Goldstar. But until I've done that, got the miles out, I think 1,000 will look, frankly, it'll look better on the title, won't it? BSA Goldstar owner's review, 1,000 miles later. I can't say 912 miles later, so I'm going to do a few more miles and then do a full review. All right, guys, well, thanks a lot for listening, and I'll catch you on the next one.